My credit score was in the 600s. My business wasn't making any money. And on top of that, I just lost $60,000 on a flip. This is the short story or the journey of wholesaling and flipping into new construction. So I posted a video about this on my Instagram, but it inspired me to come over here and talk to you guys, of course, about the longer version of what really went down and what really pointed us into new construction. We went through a lot to obviously end up getting there, but as you know, we started off in wholesaling. When I say we, I'm talking about me and my business partner, but we started off wholesaling real estate, and we thought we were pretty successful in the beginning. And that's only because we were selling deals to hedge funds. So back in 2022, it was pretty easy. If you locked up a house, it didn't matter what formula you used, where you had it locked up at. As long as you had it under contract, chances are you could find a buyer within an institutional fund. So a lot of stuff we were doing in the beginning was making big checks, wholesaling the funds. Now, our first deal wasn't to a hedge fund. We did sell it to a flipper. But after that, we sold 2 deals to hedge funds and we felt good. So fast forward to that, right? We wholesaled a few deals to some hedge funds, made some decent money, and thought, the next step was just scaling. After literally 3 deals, we thought, hey, it's time to scale. So we actually spent a bunch of money hiring VAs in India, which was a terrible idea. We hired like 6 or 7 acquisition managers. At the time, me and my current business partner had a third business partner. And all we were doing was spending, and we had no income, no deal flow, and we had no real systems in place. So we went about 2 months before we had to fire everybody and pretty much start from scratch. I mean, we had already burnt, I think, $30,000, and we were on our way to losing even more. We just didn't know it yet. So after all that happened, we also decided to flip a house that ended up being originally a wholesale deal. We were trying to assign it to a hedge fund. They backed out because of the market. So then we thought about flipping it because we thought we knew everything. Ended up losing $15,000 on that deal later down the road. But we also locked up another deal for $40,000 that, after talking with our mentors about, said it's a no-brainer. Like, you could flip this house with ease. So we bought that house while raising private money to do it. We raised a bunch of private money, bought this house, spent even more money flipping this house, and ended up losing. Now you may be wondering, all right, what led to that loss? Well, first off, we didn't know enough information, so it's automatically on us. But 2, we hired a contractor, a general contractor who was only licensed in the state of South Carolina. Wasn't even licensed in the state of North Carolina. On top of that, he had a bunch of stuff going on, from, family life to financial stuff to the drive from where he was working from and where he lived was like an hour and a half apart. So eventually, after, he walked us through the house, quoted us, said he could definitely get this done. Shortly after, about a month and a half later, he had to throw in a towel and said, hey, I can't finish the project. So instead of us doing any further rehabbing, or what we tried to do was put a little bit more money in, doing it ourselves, and then ended up realizing there was no refi in that house, there was no flipping it. So we ended up realizing 2 things, or one thing really at that time, which was we had to pivot. And we threw in the towel and sold the house at a loss, got back some of the money, and then chalked everything up as an L, which put us about $60,000 in the hole. So we had to go and wholesale our way out of that hole and pay back our 2 private money investors their money plus profit, which took months of doing, but we were able to still pay them back within the time of their promissory note, which was huge for us. It built track record, obviously, and those investors today still trust us because of it. But obviously it wasn't easy to go through, and it was tough. My credit was dropping in the meanwhile because we were floating a lot of stuff. The wholesale business, if we did make money, we had to pay the investors, so we weren't really making any income. So we just had to carry everything on our own. I didn't have any cash savings to my name after being a young entrepreneur, and I had to just put everything on credit cards. So my score dropped because of utilization from a 743 to like 600, like flat, like low 600s. I even dipped below 600 for a little bit too, which was terrible. But all of that happened from 2022 to 2023. The beautiful part about that is after we took that loss and after we paid everyone back, we realized you could build a new construction house and not have to worry about tearing down a wall or ripping up a floor and seeing what's under it, which was huge. So we decided, hey, we should pursue new construction. And because of that, we ended up paying for a mentorship, learned land development, which opened our eyes to everything. We were able to understand the power of zoning and what you could do with land, which when we look back at that flip we lost on, we realized if we would have just bought it like it was, tore the house down, we could have built the duplex right there. We still probably would have tried to buy it for a lower price knowing what we know today, but at least we could have done something that left us profitable instead of losing $60,000. But we had to go through that storm to get to where we are today. And I referenced John from the Bible. I referenced John from the Bible and said, hey, Jesus said, you may not understand what I'm doing now, but later you will understand. And that's exactly what happened in that time, because we didn't understand what was going on. We were just like, man, why did we have to lose all that money? But it was obviously a season of life that was building us up to learn new construction and land development. So although that was a tough L at that time, it led to so much more great opportunities because, again, we learned all this stuff in land development and zoning, which has allowed us to make so much more money because we've not only wholesaled for more money, but now we've bought, flipped land and built new construction because of it. Once you know how to look at land, you can even increase your wholesale fees because you may be selling a house on a wholesale fee, but the land value may be good for 3, 4, 5, 6 houses. So we had a few opportunities like that. I also talked about another situation where before we do this land development game, we wholesaled a house and made 20 grand. But I said we lost 150 grand because we wholesaled that house, not realizing we had a lot with it. And when we did that, you know, a flipper bought that house, flipped it. He lost about 15 grand. The next buyer bought the house, sold the house for the same price he bought it, but after he split the lot. So he then got a free lot and was able to build a house, which he probably built it for $130,000, $140,000, and the house is worth $300K plus. So, you know, you're making $150K in profit if he sells it, which he will sell it, which is a crazy opportunity. And all we had to do was, we could have still did the same thing we did, which was wholesale the house, but we could have wholesaled the house, got $20,000 and kept that lot. So we could have got paid to buy that lot. My bad if I just smashed the mic. This is all unedited. I just record and post, so it is what it is. But long story short, man, I'm grateful that my credit score was in the 600s. I'm grateful that our business wasn't making any money. And I'm grateful that we lost $60,000 on that flip, because without those things happening, probably wouldn't be in new construction today. Just wanted to share this video with you guys. As always, I appreciate y'all tapping in. This channel will remain unfiltered, unedited, raw, real, truth. And we're going to keep running this thing up. So I appreciate you guys for tapping in. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with somebody that may be interested in joining real estate, that wants a real perspective. And I'll see you guys on the next video.